All right. Hey, good morning, class. Hey, so if that was real, I'll say, good morning, Mr. Muhlenbrook. Hey, good morning, class.
Good morning, Mr. Muhlenbrook.
Man, you guys are only 2 weeks left for a lot of you as seniors, so congratulations. Hey, a couple things. We're going to go and get started today. I think that, in all honesty, today might be the most important day of the semester as far as what we talk about in terms of government. So we've spent a majority of the class so far this semester talking about your interaction with the government. We've talked about how the government works. Today, we're actually going to talk about how you, or how about this, how 99% of you will actually interact with the government for the rest of your life. And a majority of you, you're probably not going to ever really interact with the federal government except by filling out one of these and eventually voting. Otherwise, my guess is a lot of you will only interact with your state and local government. So, what we're going to do today is we're going to investigate exactly how or why you might need both your local city, county, or state government in the future. So we're going to work on that. So just to get things started, while I take attendance, all right, I want you to do this. At each of your tables, you will see there's a poster board. Only use one side of it, but you're going to be graded by how you use this poster board today. I want you to write all of your last names. And then the entry task question is up at the top, and it says, hey, as a table group, brainstorm ways you have or will use local government in the future, all right? So if you have interacted or ways that you think you might interact with the local government, whether it's going to be the city government or county government or state government, go ahead and just simply brainstorm some of those ideas. There's several pins at each table, so don't be afraid to go and share those, and we'll go ahead and get started. So you have about 3 minutes. On your marks, get set, go. Put away.
Last names on it?
Just your last names, and then ways that you interact with your local government. So how might you use local government?
Because they're bad.
You got any ideas?
Brainstorming.
All right.
Last names on top of the paper?
Just the last name, yep. You can do the last names later. Worry about the
Oops, there we go.
entry task at hand. What do you think? Have we got any ideas?
Voting.
Voting, that would be a good one. Well done, write that down. Ooh. Any ideas? How might you use local government? Okay. Elections. What's that? Okay, events. What kind of events do you think the government hosts? What's that? Okay, pride, yep. Okay, other local community events. Parades, right? County council meetings, evidently, that's a good one. What do we think? Actually, do it on this side. So we're going to use the other side later. All right, that's all right. You guys got any ideas? How might you use local government? And then each time you write one, pass it around.
Okay. No, that made me so proud. That one transition took me 1 whole hour just to do.
What do we got so far? Any ideas?
Writing her last name.
Just worry about the entry task for now.
Oh, man.
Okay? Here, start right there. Just write ways that you might interact or have or will interact with the government. Hurry up. Here you go. You've got 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Write some things down. That's probably fine. Yeah. School board, county council, I like it. Voting, all good examples. Parades, events, council meetings, I like it. Taxes, social issues.
If I got like a passport, does that count?
That counts, absolutely. Here we go, about 30 seconds, and we're going to ask some of you to share. Just on the same side, yeah. You want to lead one of those? You all need one of those in a minute? What's that? For a what? Yes, everyone. Yep. You'll need these in a minute. Oh, look at your list. You guys might be winning the count. Well done. Who's in charge of that? Man, that's you? Well done. I thought it would be Gabe, but... Oh, Gabe's involved. All right. So hopefully you had a chance to write down some ideas. I just went through and we passed around an explanation report. So you'll need these in just a minute. So you can pass one of these around. If we are short of one, let me know. We need one there. Sorry. Okay. Okay. So let's go through. I'm gonna draw a table number. So just so you know, we got table 1 is right here, and then table 2 is in the corner. So that's Nathan's group. You guys are 3, 4, and 5. Okay. I don't really care who shares, but if I draw your table, then you want to make sure that you go ahead. So here's the first one is 4, which is right back there. Table 4. Do you guys have a way that you might interact with the government? Jury duty. Is that a great example of interaction with the government? Yes. Absolutely, right? So most of you, although it's possible, most of you, if you ever serve on a jury, you're going to do that at a county level. Some of you might do it at a city level. Most of you are a county government. All right, table number 2, which is in the back. Give me one. Getting arrested. How about this? Would you agree that committing a crime and getting arrested is very much interaction with your community? Yeah, now it's a negative interaction, but just so you know, if you get arrested, most likely that is going to be city or county police, which are very much local government, who are going to arrest you because you're probably breaking a city or county law. That's a great example. Not a positive one, but a great one. So yes, excellent. Let's go table 5, right up here in the front. Give me one.
Social issues.
Okay, give me an example of a social issue so everyone can hear you. Nathan, you're being kind of loud back there today. I need you to kind of keep that group under check. Thank you. Social issues. Give me an example.
So an example of that would be, say, if there's, so one example here would be the homelessness issue that we've been facing this past year.
Excellent. Absolutely. So sometimes we call that health and human services, right? So if we have people who are needing assistance because perhaps they're homeless, okay, it might be a great way to go and provide county or city services to help those people get back on their feet. Table 1, which is right up here. You guys got an example? Actually, you got one? Voting, all right. That's good. How about this? When you get your ballot, will most of the people you vote for be local officials or will they be federal officials? Yeah, local. Just so you know, I'll tell you this. Those of you who register to vote, Clifton, if you register to vote and you vote this coming fall in the midterm election, okay, you will only have the chance to, I believe, vote for one federal office. Just one. Okay? Everything else on the ballot, if you live in this district this year, actually maybe there's going to be 2, I'd say. 2. A local, maybe there's 2 local, yeah. You have 2 chances, I believe, this year to vote for a federal official. And you'll get a whole ballot, and everything else will be very much a state or local issue. And then the last group I haven't got to yet is group number 3, which is this group right here in the middle. Do you have an example for me about how you might interact with state or local government? Ooh, okay. Registering for a visa. Absolutely. Do you need to travel to Washington, D.C. to have a visa? You know what a visa is? What's a visa? Say what? Yeah, so to go to other countries or stay in our country, you very much would need a visa. So just so you know, okay, if you were to go and need to apply for that, you would do that at the state level, and then it would be processed through the federal government. So great job. All right, do me a favor. Would you make sure you all have the piece of paper I just handed out to you? Looks like this. All right, so here we go. Here's what you're going to do. I'm going to give you some very clear instructions. If you look up on the board behind me, give me your eyes up here. You'll see there's two things that you're going to walk out with today. And for a lot of you, you're going to graduate in 2 weeks, all right, less than 2 weeks. Okay, and when you walk out of here, you need to know that there are some things that you are going to need and some uses of government. That is the goal for the day. So the two targets are this: understand the services local governments provide, and the second thing is learn how you can utilize those state and county services. Okay, on each of the tables, so what's going to happen in just a minute is every one of you will stand up. You will take this, it's called an exploration report, all right? We are going to spend about 90 seconds at each table. So at each of your tables, you're going to see a document, all right? And most of you have 2 copies of a document. This is just information directly from counties about different services that they provide. So you'll see on your exploration report, there's 3 things. The first one you get to, you're going to say, hey, I am at whatever table. So you're going to get to your paper, you're going to see your group's probably going to have a heading. You're going to write that down. We're at the land services, right? And you're simply going to write down some observations, which means what's the first thing you notice about that information that's provided from one of the counties. And I've used mostly local counties, which is Pierce, King, and I believe there's actually one from Thurston County as well. So you're going to grab an observation, which means what information is on your paper or your chart. And the second thing you're going to write down is what are you wondering, which means maybe a question you might have when you as a group see this information. It's going to go quick, all right? It's going to go quick. You're just going to go real quickly. So here's what I need you to do. I need you to all have a writing utensil. Take this with you. Grab your electronics, anything that's just valuable, take it with you as well. We're all going to stand up. When we rotate, okay, we're going to rotate this direction. So table 1 will go to 2, 2 will go to 3, 3 to 4, right around the circle, just like that. Fair enough? And then we get 90 seconds, so you're going to have to kind of hurry. So keep the chit-chat to a minimum, all right? And we'll go ahead and start now at your own table, all right? You can grab your materials, but go and stand up. Don't sit down. Just go and stand up. Get that blood flowing, okay? So stand up right now, everyone, and you can go and start by looking at your materials and begin to realize what exactly the services are, which are outlined in your information. So go ahead and stand up. You can do it. Get that blood moving. And you'll turn these observation charts in, so make sure you write your names on them. Sorry, a little cramped over here. These are all my old stuff all my old charts. But we hit the AP final in here, so I had to take it all down. So I just I want to keep it, but no, there's my storage file. I don't really have any cabinet space. So yeah, lots of wall space. All right, so what do you got here?
A paper.
Oh, it's right here. I thought she was all over there.
So what kind of county services are there? There you go. You'll see the same, which is what are your predictions? Don't worry about a prediction. You're trying to make an observation, which means what's in your observation should be what are the services that counties provide that are on your packet of information. Squeeze by here, Alex. All right, what do we got here? Ooh, this is the menu from King County Air Services. All right, let's go about 10 more seconds. Finish up your sentence you're writing. If you don't get a ton of stuff, that's okay. We're going to have plenty of time to move on. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, rotate. All right, so rotate right around the circle. All right. You can do it. Go ahead and push your chairs in so that way people can start moving around easily. If everyone just pushes the chairs, then don't sit down when you go to their next group. Just stay standing because we're going to be moving quickly. take a look, try to observe what sort of county services are on your information. What's that? This is Parks and Rec.
No, like what number?
Oh, this is number 2. Actually, this is 5.
This is Parks and Rec.
Sorry. You can just draw a line across your observation charts to let you know that you're at the new station. And don't be afraid to talk about it, people. Right? Verbalize what you see. Help people around you. Try to observe what ways might you use these county services in the future. Here we go, about 10 more seconds, so we're going to rotate. Smile.
Turned and looked like.
It's okay. Here we go, 5, 4, 3, 2, rotate. Go ahead, go to the next one. You guys go all the way over. Go ahead and draw a line and go to the next station. All right, what do we got here? Sharif. Maybe here want to have a job in law enforcement down the road? Yeah? There you go. Yeah? What do you want to do?
I'm in between sheriff or just local 12 police.
Yeah.
I'm not sure yet.
Absolutely. There you go. Here's your starting wages.
Yeah.
There you go. Pretty good. Was it work out per year? Yeah. Not bad. Not bad. More than a first-year teacher. Keep that in your back of your mind. What we got over here? Ooh, planning and land services. Kyle, what do you think? How are you going to use this department when you're older? Making a house. So when you buy that property and you want to put in a septic tank so you can have plumbing, you might use the planning and land services. Absolutely. All right, Cam, what group do you have here?
This
is 2.
Oh, I know. What's the information?
Taxes.
Oh, property and taxes. Hey, welcome. Why don't you go ahead and join? Yeah, that's fine. Yep. Here, you'll need one of these. There you go. Yep. Here we go. About 10 more seconds.
Oh my gosh.
Taxes, right? Are taxes good or bad?
Good and bad.
Oh, right. All right, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and rotate. Rotate. Take your stuff with you. All right. And you can use both sides as well. If you're on the side, and we think of how are you going to interact with this county agency in the future. All right, what do you guys got over here? What do you got here? Oh, yeah, it's the sheriff one. They can interact positively with the sheriff or negatively. Oh, come on, man. How many answers is that? Up there by my desk, yes, absolutely. It's just one. Oh, yeah, Parks and Rec.
It's so very last episode. And what?
You can get it down.
Yeah.
All right.
I was just distraught. Like when I watched it, I was
All kinds of services. This is a whole menu of Thurston County services, is that right?
like everything.
Yeah, so human services. There's 2 different ones here. So one's the human services, So human services law. There's also Parks and Recs. There's 2 different ones here. So you can choose either one. Yep. But mostly this is the page, all the human services. So prevention services, homeless services, big ones like emergency housing, which is like, let's say that something happens where your house floods and you can't really afford to go to a hotel, you don't have any relatives in the area. I mean, there's actually a county agency which says, hey, we can provide emergency housing for you. Either they'll pay for a hotel, just, it's part of the security of being a taxpayer. So, pretty cool, right? Homeless shelters, right? What's the other one? Parks and Rec? Oh, yeah, bike trails, right?
What?
Funny, yeah. You guys watch that show? It's pretty good, yeah. All right, which group's this? Oh, yeah. All right, I'd say most people are about wrapping up. I think we've got one last table. Is that right?
Yes.
One last one, then we'll go back to our desks. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Rotate. Last one. Got it? What time's this class over again? 30 or 35?
35.
Thank you. Now, what do you got here? This is pretty straightforward, yeah. What are the things King County provides? So there's 2 of them here, which might be a little bit confusing. So you can choose either one. One's Parks and Recs, and the other one's Human Services. You guys watch the show?
Yeah, I'm watching for that.
Oh, yeah? That's pretty funny. Can you believe that? A funny show based on county government.
Actually, you remind me of what we know.
I take that as such a huge compliment.
And you know what? I don't have to have social media like people do talk about stuff.
Here we go. About 1 minute left. 1 minute left. Yes.
My boyfriend and I hit a car on the way to prom, but we still got to go.
Well, that's good.
I'll show you the picture.
Did you call? Did you? Were any county services involved?
I don't know.
No, the police weren't there.
Well, we were messing with the air thing. The air conditioner. And then I looked up and he was like, and he hit it. But
You were rear ender.
yeah, he still went to prom though.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you can get a wreck and go to prom.
I had to deal with that last.
How are we doing? Here we go. About 30 seconds left. 30 seconds. Get the last things down. We'll wrap it up. We'll head back to our original seats. Make sure names are at the top, so you'll turn these in.
Well, I can't have Snapchat, so that'd be still bad. I do not have Snapchat, I guarantee you.
How you doing? You good?
Okay, let's look this up.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead back to our original tables, and you can grab a seat, but have your papers in front of you. Papers in front of you.
Enjoy playing with
All right, here's what you do. I want you to put your heads together. All right, your heads together is when you just find a table partner, and I want you to, each of you, need to talk about 3 things that you now know that counties or city government can provide for citizens that you didn't know before. So find someone next to you, or a group of 3, group of 2, put your heads together, all right, and just real quick say, hey, here's some things that I now know that county governments do or are in charge of. Ready, set, go. You go. 2 minutes. Thank you. All right, what do you think? Or if they're, how about it? That's a great question. How about this? If someone your elbow partner wrote down something you did not write down, then go and add that to your list. Fair enough?
The government here collects $1.2 billion per year in tax money.
What are some things that you thought were interesting about what county and state governments do?
What happens to all these, like, the government shuts down? They stop.
Well, bad stuff happens. When government shuts down, that's more of a federal government shutdown, which is a little bit different.
But doesn't it affect, like, national parks and stuff?
Yes, it's only federal stuff. So national parks, which is a federal part of the federal government. So like local county parks.
Well, I wasn't
Yeah.
the answer. You weren't going to ask it.
But what you will find, for example, is there are times where budgets for like local budgets are hurt, and you'll see like the county and city parks. You might see maintenance go down. You might see that services they provided before, such as having spray parks, things like that, might all of a sudden shut down. They'll stop turning the water on. Things that cost money. So it does happen. There are things. All right, what do you got? What's one thing you thought was a cool one? You thought, hey, this is something I didn't really realize that county or state governments do, but now I know. Anybody got one?
Kind of all to be expected.
What's that?
Kind of all to be expected.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I found the laws do extensions repairs, so that's probably it.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, the one thing I guess I didn't really know about was the auditor function.
Okay. Now, what's the auditor function? Tell me what you think it is.
If I wrote this down correctly, the auditors are responsible for things that are not handled by normal government agencies. Say, human services, they don't handle that, for example. They handle anything else.
Yep. Okay. Excellent. All right. Going to take about last 30 seconds to wrap it up. Wrap it up. All right. So you will hand these in when we leave here in a few minutes. I know class is over in about 15 minutes, but before that, here's the deal. You have your entry task poster board. I need someone to take that and then flip it over, all right? And we're going to use the clean half to begin to take some table notes. And at the end of this, if you want to add it to your observation charts, or if you want to go, or your expiration reports, you can do that. Or you could also take a photo of it with your phone, because we all know that you're going to use this lots in the future. Here's what we're going to do. So we need one person to grab your poster, and then in the middle, would you please write either a square or a circle, and simply write down interaction with local government. So here's exactly what we're going to do for the next few minutes. So put a circle or a square in the middle. And simply copy down this square or that circle, which is right up here on the board. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. If you simply wrote down the first part of this exercise, which is the thing that's in the middle, which says interaction with local government, congratulations, because you were willing to go first and write, you got the easiest job. Now your job is to pass your paper. So go ahead and rotate around and pass it to the next person. All right? And we're going to go through and hopefully kind of take some notes about the different services that are provided by state and local government. So here's the thing. What you all need to do is know this information. All right? It's imperative that you understand how both state and county and local city government, okay, provide services to its voters. Okay, like I said before, okay, each time we go to a different county service, we will then rotate and you will pass the poster and the pins to the next person. All right? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start with one which is kind of fun, hopefully. For a lot of you, probably don't really think about it, but you use this one a lot. All right? This is so you can go ahead and draw an arrow wherever you want. Oh, my pen doesn't work very well. The first we're going to start with is Parks and Rec. Parks and Rec. So here we go. Raise your hand if you have been at a park. Done. Raise your hand if you've been at a park in the last 2 weeks. Really, just any kind of a park in the last 2 weeks. Been to Bradley Lake Park, been downtown Puyallup. Absolutely. Now, my guess is this. People use parks all the time. Okay? When they use parks, okay, they simply probably have trash to use. And they throw it away. They probably spread a blanket out and they lay it on the grass. Okay? And they have a chance to go and enjoy the day. They might go and use a bathroom, which probably isn't very clean, but my guess is if you were there early in the morning, it might have been clean. Okay? All of these things are things that the Parks and Rec department would do. So, here's the first thing you might say. So you can write this down. So Parks and Rec, you might say, yeah, guess what? It's exactly that. It is county or city parks and facilities. That's a big one. All right, do me a favor. Raise your hand. Actually, let's do this. Put your heads together. Find a table partner. And I want you to do this. I want you to tell them the sports and activities that you did when you were a kid. So did you play t-ball, right? Did you do youth soccer? Go ahead and do about 30 seconds and talk about all the hobbies and activities that you did as a kid. On your marks, get set, go.
Try not to cry. Baseball. Beating his team. Beating myself.
More videos are all boring and we stay inside.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
Anybody have any sports? What'd you do? Soccer, excellent. Anyone else?
I did volleyball.
Volleyball, excellent. Okay. Track, anyone else got up here? What'd you guys do? Anything? Any youth sports you did at all? Or youth activities, ballet, or community dance stuff? Gymnastics? Okay. Got any? Bowling, there you go. Okay. Jump rope. Okay. So hopefully you had a chance to share some of the activities that you did when you were a kid. There's a good chance that you probably did something for Parks and Rec. So you played t-ball or baseball, or you played Kids Love Soccer, right? Now you might say, Brooke, I never played for any of those because I was a part of a private organization called South Hill Little League. Okay? That very much could be true. But here's what I can tell you. Most Parks and Recs departments, okay, they provide their facilities to other organizations at reduced costs if it's for the betterment of the community. Right? So that's a big one. So fields, parks, facilities, that's a great example about Parks and Recs. We're going to call those youth and community programs. Community programs. So youth and community programs. Going to add that to your list. Anyone here ever been on a hike? Okay. Okay, if you've been on a hike and that hike is not in a national forest, like the Wenatchee National Forest or Olympic National Forest, there's a good chance that local trails, let's say you've given down to DeCourcy Park and hike through those trails. That's all going to be part of local government maintaining those trails. Bradley Lake Park, same thing. If you've done the loop at Bradley Lake, guess what? You have used a county service, so congratulations. Another one about that is also we might see some other things such as parades. Okay. Arts programs are other examples. All right, pass your paper. Take your paper, pass the next person your poster. Pass to the next person. Here's the next one. Next one is called Building and Land Use. So building and land use. Raise your hand if you have driven by Raise your hand if you have driven by a new house. Stop. Raise your hand if you have driven by a new house or a new development in the last couple of days, where you've seen new construction. It's going to be apartments, condos, homes. People say, hey, just so you know, there is a county department that is in charge of deciding who and when and where, okay, things can be built. So, people say, what does that mean? It means we have a whole group of people who sit down and they are part of planning, county, building, and construction and land use. So, if you've walked by and seen things like wetland signs, okay, you've walked by and seen things like, hey, this is going to be for sale and it's got a certain code on it. Well, it's going to be coded for retail. You might say, so wait a minute, why can't someone come right over here and build a high-rise office building? Okay, because there's a group of people that work for the county who say we're going to have certain areas of the county which are going to be sectioned off for certain types of use, right? And there's going to be some uses like, hey, this is going to be for houses. This is going to be for condominiums or multi-family units, which are going to be condos or apartments. They got other areas that, hey, this is going to be used for a retail area. Okay, and so what they call that is, they call that zoning, all right? So that would be one thing to write down. It's one thing about a zoning department. It means what can be built where. That's zoning, that's part of the land use. The other one is this. We have this thing called permits. Now, it might be really nice to simply go and say, hey, we're going to add on to our house. That seems like it might be a really cool thing. Here's the problem. Or maybe let's say you want to go and build a great big shed in your backyard. It's, like a garage or a shop. Okay, you would think, well, I own the property. If I have the money, I can just go and do that. Can you? No. You must go and get a what? A permit. Okay, and a permit basically says, hey, it means you have given your intentions, your plans to the city or the county government, say this is a structure we're going to build, and we want to get that approved. If you don't, can they make you tear it down? Absolutely. Okay, you probably get fined at first, and if not, they can actually tear it down. So that would be a zoning and permit issue. Some other stuff is something, here's a fun one. What's kind of nice is that you've got these two things at your disposal. One of them is disposal, one of them is for use. Okay, how many of you used water this morning at your house? Okay? My guess is most of you did. You probably brushed your teeth. You took a shower. Okay? Just so you know, there are people that work for Pierce County around the clock. Okay? And it's their job to make sure that you've got water. Right? They're monitoring where the water's coming from. They're monitoring the levels of the wells and of the other reservations for water. They're monitoring water pressure, right? They're the ones who are in charge of deciding and working with the zoning department to say, hey, if we build a neighborhood here, can we get water to that neighborhood? So all kinds of things. And the last one we can write down is, let's talk about property taxes, right? Most of you probably don't pay these, but let me just say, are you going to school? Yeah. How many of you wrote me a check so you could come here and actually go to class today? Anyone? No, but guess what? Most of your parents, all right, probably paid property taxes. And a portion of those property taxes, believe it or not, pays for the schools that are in those areas. So I thank you, right? And that is something which also is going to be a local government function. All right, pass your paper. The next person. Pass it around. Next question. You know what? You have to get a waiver, which means your home district, if it's a public school and you want to live in one school and go to another one, they have to allow you in, right? And this school district has to release you, because then when they release you, they also release, I believe, the dollars which are attached to you from the state. So there is a process for that. It's not like you can just go wherever you want. It does take some other paperwork and whatnot. So great question. Hey, last one before class is over. So go and pass your paper. And We're going to continue this tomorrow. Here's the next one called the Records Department. So next person. How about this? Someone explain to me some records that you might need or that you have about your life. What do you got? You're excellent. Thanks, Jackson. Here's one for you. Your birth certificate. There's one. Go ahead. You got one? A what? Absolutely. Your rap sheet, right? Anybody here down the road? Go ahead. Got one?
Social Security.
Absolutely. Which is also enmeshed with the federal government as well. Social Security. Angela, you got one? Marriage. There's a great one. So your marriage license.
What about like your passport? Does that count?
It does count. Absolutely. And one of the other ones, which you probably haven't really thought about much, is your driver's. Absolutely, right? How about this? How many of you have had your... Got one? Angela's got to get one. Go ahead, Angela. What's that? Adoption? I believe so. Yeah. Yeah, adoption papers will not? Absolutely. Okay. You got one? Go ahead, Alex. What's that? Visa green card. That's a good one. What else? You got one? Military IDs. Yep. Go ahead. Yep. Anyone else got any? Angelina, go ahead.
Death certificate.
A death certificate. Absolutely. Now, that seems kind of cruel, right? But do you have to go and get a death certificate to make sure that you have recognition that, hey, this person is now deceased and we shouldn't pay taxes, those sort of things? Absolutely. All right. Couple last minute things. Don't forget tonight, last school board meeting opportunity for the civic observation. Those I like those due on Thursday. Look at the board real quick. You can see if you need the paper, they're right up here in the front if you need the paper. But they're due Thursday. The school board meeting. If you want the alternate, longer assignment, make sure you come and see me before you leave today. Question? Yes. Yeah, I want your papers before you go out. I'll give you those. That's how you get points. Is I want your explanation charts. You can give them to me. I'll take them.
I didn't write my name on it.
Nope. Thank you.